Kai Zhangsheng's nature is definitely not a good person. Just seeing him laugh once is enough to scare the other person away. You don't know yet. He spoke again, this time successfully scaring people away. Ruo dropped the candy in her hand. Her boyfriend lost and gave her to me. Standing right behind the crowd. Bak Teep was so scared that his eyes widened, panicking and covering his mouth with his hand. Even Lin Xin didn't think things would come to this level. Kai Zhangsheng held his girlfriend's waist with one hand. His fierce appearance scared children. The juniors behind him looked no different from demons. Just like that. It's not like you don't understand the rules of the world. Right now you are my slave. If you dare to run away, that means breaking the rules. The consequences. You already know. Plan everything. Ruo didn't expect that the last person to stab her in the back would be her boyfriend. And yet he didn't have my consent. Taking me as a bet. Motherfucker, you're crazy. Being cornered. Chia Xiang completely revealed his nature as a weak and cowardly guy. He laughed loudly. The wrinkles on his face also gathered in one place. Looking like a patient who had just escaped from prison. Just sell it. Why? This bet. Kai Zhangsheng also brought his girlfriend to the floor. I also feel it's unfair. Because his girlfriend is much hotter than you. The more he talks, the more enthusiastic he is. The more he talks, the crazier he is. Don't even let me touch you. Do you really think you can sell for such a high price? Ruo right now probably wishes she couldn't go back to the past and slap herself. That girl might not be hotter. But the bastard in front of her was probably much more despicable than Kai Zhangsheng. While she raised her hand to give him a slap, Kai Zhangsheng appeared like a ghost from behind. His bushy hands clenched tightly. Taking her small hand, the owner now ordered her not to hit anyone. Turning his hand, he pulled her forward, laughing loudly enough to be rude. Ruo's future this time is not in the cave, is also at the bottom of society. Come on, obediently get in the car and go. Call the owner and listen. No matter how strong your mouth is, you are still a girl. Facing strong people you can only be helpless. Being dragged away, don't. Bak Teep was stopped by two tall guys. Panicked and said loudly, you let her go. You are breaking the law. I will report you to the police. Kai Zhangsheng pressed Ruo on the supercar with one hand. Still free to turn around and answer her. This aunt doesn't understand the situation. So she asked her daughter, does she want to report to the police? Ruo frowned uncomfortably, but I can't say anything. How can a mother let her daughter suffer? No matter how much she warns her. Let her go. Those guys who beat girls are all cowards. Clearly, the juniors and Kai Zhangsheng are a gathering place for cowards. A guy with a comb-over hair slapped her hard. Looks like he's triumphant now really. He grabbed the back of Ruo's neck, curled his mouth and smirked. Don't be so angry, auntie. If you look closely, you look quite beautiful. How about you two come back to be my car model? Then come on. Ruo immediately got angry when he heard that. Even though the back of his head was still being held tightly. He still tried to turn around and shout loudly. Don't touch my mother. Bak Teep was held tightly by two guys with blue-dyed heads. Although he was scared, still trying to reassure his daughter. Ruo, don't be afraid. The two entourage simultaneously held both of them tightly. Opposite Kai Zhangsheng smiled complacently. I like these measurements. Don't hurry up and call the owner. At this moment, a calm voice rang out from behind. Lin Xin, who had been quiet all along, also spoke up. I'm sorry, it's a bit of a bother. He put his hands in his pockets, looking generous and confident. Perfect, the complete opposite of the other side. According to your rules, Ruo lost and gave you the right. But as for the aunt you also want to recruit, you should also do it according to the rules. Or, I'll compete with you. You fought. Suddenly a brat jumped out of nowhere. He spoke angrily. You motherfucker. Who are you? On what basis did you bet with me? Motherfucker, do you have any money? Lin Xin, move away a bit. Revealing the black supercar behind you. You can set a price. Bet any amount. Having money is a person's nature revealed. Kai Zhangsheng's eyes darkened a bit. He glanced at him. Oh, is this your car? He put his hands in his pockets, smiling fiercely. So, the whole car, that limited edition sports car, and this aunt both took it as a bet. I will fight with you. By then there may be both mother and child. Ruo was pressed, screaming, Kai Zhangsheng, bastard. He coldly called his junior to slap him. A group of bastards who didn't know how to hold back. A cruel sound rang out, leaving a red streak right on the girl's soft cheek. Lin Sin's attitude was perfect. Completely disregarding this group of people, he let out a small laugh. Just maybe, you guys are too petty. The two juniors from before immediately jumped out, their expressions as if they were about to pounce on him and tear him apart. Kai Zhangsheng slowly stepped forward. Wait a minute, how do you want to play? He freely presented the dazzling golden card. Sports car, beautiful woman, and also this. 2 billion yuan, this is money, my bet. What about you? Do you have enough money to bet with me? It took forever to see something interesting. His eyes glowed, pointing towards the hot girlfriend behind him. That's interesting. Okay, I bet 1 billion, plus Ruo and my girlfriend. Chia Xiang suddenly spoke up. All this time I thought this coward had already crawled under several layers of soil. He was already crowing, but he was still stupid. What's the point in living like that? I don't know. Wait a minute. Me too join. No problem. Lin Sin didn't think this big fish would take the bait. Maybe. Just don't know what you have to bet on. As expected. Idiots often don't know what to stop. I will bet 40% of the company's shares. This company belongs to my father. He has already given the company's shares to me. It is absolutely worth billions. Kai Zhangsheng didn't expect this guy to be so bold. Your little brother. He lost all his money. In the end, he didn't hesitate to bet on the shares. That's right. After all, he 3 billion won. Dad, I'm really happy to have a good son like you. How could Chia Xiang's short brain have foreseen the hell ahead? You take care of me. The last few times were all your luck. It was all because of the unlucky woman Ruo. Not bringing fortune. This time I will definitely win. Not sure where Su Ruo got the strength from. Fiercely turned around. Chia Xiang, I will definitely kill you. Bark Teep looked in his direction with tears in his eyes. Timidly speaking, Lin Sin, this is what our family caused. You don't need to do that. If you lose, it's your money. As he predicted, the outcome of the race would be in his favor. He responded confidently, Auntie, don't think about losing so early. What if you win? He smiled crookedly. In his mind he was running through a herd of deer, constantly calculating in his heart. If he won this match, he would get a lot. 40% of the shares of Flying High Company. 1 billion yuan, a beautiful woman, debt to lover, save money scanner. All three are ready at the finish line. In front is Kai Zhangsheng's hot girlfriend, elected to be the opening person. The journey will start from here, to the top of the mountain, then from the way down the mountain back here. No matter what happens in the process, just watch who finishes last. Bark Teep mother and daughter can only secretly wish from behind. No matter what. Thank you, boy. Su Ruo clenched his fists. How could he be so confident? Drove an expensive car, took out 1 billion at will. He was really like what his father said. My miserable poor boyfriend. What about Luo Yaxi? Lin Sin turned his head and smiled at her. I'll borrow your car to compete. No comments. Even though he was quite worried on the inside. On the outside, Su Ruo remained calm. Do you really know how to drive? Be careful. Finally, she said loudly, you have to be careful of Kai Zhangsheng. He had won a few spots in that motocross championship. And he was also suspected of killing other competitors. Not to mention the unofficial race. On this mountain road, if you really can't do it, leave. Don't risk your life with him. He gave a thumbs up, expressing peace of mind. Rest assured, sister, I am the man known as the God of Speed. The three looked seriously ahead. Lin Sin spoke first. It's a man. Don't step on the brake later. Kai Zhangsheng replied jokingly. If you're afraid, then say it. You can still retreat. Chia Xiang like an idiot next to me. This time I will definitely win. The countdown sound rang out. The crowd's expressions gradually became serious. With a loud bang, the girlfriend shouted loudly, let's start. At that time it was also when the smoke and dust rose. When everyone regained their composure, behind they could only see three figures passing by like lightning with piles of fine dust everywhere. The race had only just started a few minutes ago. Kai Zhangsheng couldn't help but play dirty. As expected of an experienced person, dirty driving can also be so professional. Only to see him turn the steering wheel slightly, causing the back of the car to collide with Lin Sin's car's chassis. Immediately, his strange green monster truck flashed forward. even though it wasn't clear. You could see his current proud expression. Lin Xin seemed to be enlightened with this subject for the first time. He smirked. Lip. It turns out it's so interesting. Flycam fluttering in the sky, showing a scene of people frantically chasing. Lin Xin immediately turned on the throttle, accelerating as much as possible. Suddenly, to the point of braking, the car seemed to want to fly off the ground. This image immediately scared the two of Su Ruo. There was a curve ahead and he was accelerating. Lin Xin seemed completely unconcerned. He leaned down slightly. The car's tilt also decreased. His bangs flew strongly in the air, enough to see how terrible the current speed was. Su Ruo then realized something. She opened her mouth wide to look at the scene before her eyes. So nervous that she forgot to breathe. It's a perfect corner hug. No one would have expected a newcomer like Lin Xin to be able to create such a complete corner position. The knee doesn't even touch the ground below. Chia Xiang with Kai Zhangsheng. Everyone was surprised by that situation. Especially Chia Xiang, a weak guy who was always afraid of someone surpassing him. He immediately started a bad habit. Raised his leg and kicked it in his direction, trying to make everyone angry. The car fell on the road. Died. No one can play bad things with the main character. Just seeing Lin Xin gently lift the front of the car, avoiding his kick, that made Chia Xiang both surprised and jealous. Su Ruo excitedly complimented loudly. So great. He immediately rushed forward, perfectly causing him to inhale the car's fumes. Although Chia Xiang was spicy, he only had time to swear. Kai Zhangsheng only then felt a little powerful. Raped. He turned his head and saw Lin Xin's motorbike approaching. His expression serious, about to catch up. But after all, he had been wandering around this world for a long time. How many scenes remained? Haven't seen it before. A newbie brat still wants to pass him. Then send you to Tay Theme too. I only saw him flick the rear of the car, causing it to sweep a long line, blocking Lin Xin's way up. The harsh screeching sound kept coming out, as if it wanted to pierce his ears. Lin Xin's eyes glanced at that image. His eyebrows slightly furrowed. Wanting to block me. The wheel gently rose from under the lane, as if monsters keep moving forward. You block the road. I create my own road. Lin Xin rolls up the slope above, taking advantage of friction and body weight to balance the slope of the road. Car. Then we have to see how he blocks it. Is this completely enough to scare Kai Zhangsheng? Just see him open his mouth wide. His expression stinks like he ate feces. What? Yet he can walk on cliff. Even though he was chanting thousands of impossible words in his heart. That image was clearly in front of him. He absolutely could not deny that crazy scene. Lin Xin took time to leave the wheel and rushed straight down the slope to block the car of the other two people. This is not scientific at all. The people on the other side of the screen were clearly also scared a lot. The juniors, stay silent and don't dare to cough a bit. Lin Xin is as comfortable as walking on a regular road. There is absolutely no feeling of weightlessness or anything. Why are you looking at me? Looking at the road. I saw the position you were rushing towards. Where he was going. He cursed loudly and quickly turned the steering wheel, leaving Chia Xiang behind, stupid and unable to keep up. With a bang, his car crashed into the cliff at the same time, colliding with Lin's motorbike. Xin, the whole body flew away from the previous position, fell forcefully from the air and rolled a few times. The wheel gently landed on the ground, then leaned on it and quickly flew away. The layer of soil and rock from the aftershock earlier still falling non-stop. Kai Zhangsheng was already furious to the extreme. His pupils narrowed, teeth clenched. Damn it, you forced me. Speeding up again, blue fire shot strongly from the side the engine of his car. Accompanied by the roaring sound of the engine, was so loud that it was deafening. Suddenly there was a strong sound. At this point it was completely impossible to keep up with the movements of the two. It was unclear who his motorbike was. Playing soccer or something. Both master and servant went crazy and rushed forward. His eyes flashed fiercely, different from just now. I not only want you to lose but also want you to die. The front of the car fiercely rushed from behind Lin Xin. My own damage in his eyes just now was nothing. Stabbing you to death. Today was definitely a bad day for Su Ruo. Her emotions fluctuated up and down like a roller coaster. When hey, she screamed loudly in panic. No, perhaps because of his grandparents' help. Lin Xin used all his strange skills. He adjusted the steering wheel slightly, causing the bike's saddle to spin around. blocking Kai Zhengsheng's path. He clearly didn't think he still had a trick. So, I applied the brakes hard but couldn't make it in time. The two wheels collided loudly, at a speed that could not be seen by the naked eye. Kai Zhengsheng's green motorbike soared into the sky like an eagle. A green eagle. He bent his legs and handlebars in panic. Following that, it became lighter, itself floating in the air again. The loud scream continued. Whether it was racing or martial arts, no one knew. The white motorbike seemed to disappear on the track. Only a faint white streak could be seen, blurred, moving at extremely fast speed. Lin Xin leisurely driving below. Above his head was Kai Zhengsheng spreading his wings to fly. There are many roads. Safety is the first road. Driving does not comply with the rules closed. Relatives shed tears. The end of the sentence was also when he passed by the beautiful figure of the guide. The race was over. The winner, Lin Xin. The crowd immediately surrounded the winner won. Whispers of praise continuously rang out. It was so special. I couldn't even dream of doing that. Definitely a professional racer. I vow to call him a car god. System notification sound system rang. Plus 50 degrees of affection. The last thing that appeared in his eyes was the image of Su Ruo with red cheeks. Eyes clearly showing the shape of a dull heart. So beautiful, so handsome. An ambulance gradually appeared from on the side of the slope. The noise was loud all the way. The noisy crowd stood behind. Opposite was the doctor who was rushing to move the other two people to the car. Lin Xin moved forward first, followed by Su Ruo. You were a little worried about the condition of those two people. Doctor, your face is a little wrinkled. How are they? Are their lives in danger? The doctor realized that finally someone cares when he saw two patients. He immediately walked over. Are you a family member or friend of the injured person? They were very lucky. They were in such a serious car accident and only suffered broken bones and a mild concussion. But still, need to check further. Lin Xin breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing that. How about that? That's great. Immediately after, the real face was revealed. So sign your name and go. The appearance is so scary that Kai Zhengsheng also trembled. Are you a devil? Lin Xin now vaguely revealed his ears and tail. This is a monster, not a human anymore. You have to bear with it. This is not the rule of the world. What do you value most? Sign me. Holding the eye-catching contract in her hand, Lin Xin immediately became an angel in the eyes of others, smiling until her eyes narrowed. As for the matter of speeding and intentionally harming others, leave it to the police. Kill him and teach him. So happy that he ignored his pitiful screams because Su Ruo stomped on his hand from behind with a high heel. Trampling you two trashes to death. It's really convenient for you. Kai Zhengsheng and Chia Xiang were tortured until their souls left their bodies. The surrounding doctors also moved in panic. The patient lost too much blood. Quickly take him to the emergency room. Lin Xin's sweat dropped looking at Su Ruo was so angry that she puffed her cheeks. Thinking to herself, this girl is really hot-tempered. A soft voice suddenly rang out next to him. Mr. Lin and Bark Teep spoke timidly. Their cheeks turned red due to shyness. Very red. Thank you. I really don't know how to repay you for your great kindness to our family. Next to Su Ruo. He is completely cold on the outside and hot on the inside. Although talking is a bit uncomfortable, his cheeks are red. Don't worry, we won't owe you this favor. No matter what request you make, my mother and I will try to do it. Lin Xin, feel free to answer. In your hand is a big bulging handbag. No, anyway, I got it anyway. This 100.000 was originally yours. Take it back. Don't come here in the future. You seem to emit a bright aura. It's a clear race. Brought him a series of surprises. From a bank card plus 100 million Chinese yuan to 40% of the shares of Flying High Company. His pockets became thicker and thicker. I had something to do, so I should go first. The two of you call a car and go home. His back now seemed to radiate a sparkling aura, attracting the eyes of mother and son. Ruo's goodness also slowly increased by 20%. Lin Xin, really different. Daughter, what do you think? Su Ruo held a bag of money in her arms. Her eyes seemed about to turn into heart shapes and jumped out. You made up your mind. Your beloved daughter suddenly said no. The head without a tail made her a bit confused. What to decide? Su Ruo confidently clenched his fists, his eyes shining with determination. I will pursue him. Bark Teep seemed to realize something and spoke up. Huh, isn't he Luo Yaxi's boyfriend? In exchange for a girl's resolute attitude. I don't care. At that moment, at the snack street outside the university city, the aroma from the stall's food is constantly pouring out, attracting the hungry stomachs of passersby. Lin Sin's group stopped in front of a fast food restaurant, quickly ordering fried chicken and sausages. A familiar figure stood behind the bushes tree, mysteriously looking in the direction of the four people. The noisy sound of the young men immediately attracted her, almost eating a bowl of noodles, entering the restaurant all night. With a strong sound, the invading breath enveloped the word. Behind Lin Sin, he turned his head back. The speed was still not as fast as Su Ruo's chewing and swallowing speed. She opened her mouth wide, towards the beautiful sausage in his hand. One sip and it was all over. Su Ruo clearly knows how to take advantage of her cuteness. Today is a beautiful day. So is Su Ruo. She cheerfully used her hands to pose in greeting, her mouth still half closed on the sausage, making her voice sound like choking. Both funny and adorable. Hi. Lin Sin looked in surprise at the person who had suddenly appeared. In his hand was the wooden stick that had just pinned that sausage. Su Ruo, why are you here? The three of Zhou Tong were still surprised by the image just now. The person, Beauty, came to find Lin Sin, sticking out her tongue to gently lick the meat scrap still on her lips. Her eyes looked evilly at the person in front of her. Her whole body curved slightly down. Her jacket was tight on her body, with a long deep cutout, when she pressed her body, at the same time revealing her deep cleavage as if she wanted to blow away the other person's eyes. Guess what? You're going to the internet shop later. Can you take me too? Three people behind stood hugging clenched his heart, at the same time screaming loudly in jealousy. Yet another beauty ran to find Lin Sin. Yet Lin Sin could still be confident. Coldly refuse. No, women only affect the speed of pressing just mine. The answer didn't seem to please the majority. The crowd shouted loudly, refusing. Her eyes flashed with annoyance. Yet there was an idiot who rejected a beauty. You. Right now, Lu Cheng appeared behind her with her hands on her hips. She was wearing a tight jet black dress, perfectly showing off her surreal body proportions. Which one is this? Lin Sin's sausage is something she can you eat it? That's mine. So in terms of hotness, maybe Su Ruo is a few points behind. She gave a light nudge. 2 balls were enough to push her 10,000 miles away. Get out. But Su Ruo is not a soft persimmon that allows others to bully her. She quickly grabbed the other person's wrist, turned around and firmly pressed her shoulder down, completely restraining Lu Cheng, making it impossible for Lu Cheng to move. Miss Dak, he laughed loudly, sticking out his tongue to reveal the piercing inside. Looking like a boss bullying someone's good daughter. Who are you to dare to raise your voice to me? When you are involved in gangs. You're still in school saying hello to the teacher. The little rabbit knows how to struggle when she's in a dead-end situation. While Lu Cheng isn't a weak white rabbit or anything. She raised her hand and grabbed the end of her hair, pulling hard. The 2 beautiful girls were completely oblivious to the situation around them, just focused on pulling each other's hair and pulling each other's heads like shrewd aunties. By the way, let go. Let go, otherwise your arm will be broken. The rare scene made Zhou Tong and the others look excitedly, and at the same time let out a surprised wow. The situation made the person being fought for like Lin Sin cover his face in shame. Had to stop them. The system appeared again. Lin Sin's eyes also flashed a strange yellow light. He muttered, proficient in traditional Chinese medicine. Taking a step forward, Lin Sin quickly moved. The speed was so fast that the naked eye could not see it. Just 2 shots were enough to make Su Ruo and Lu Cheng stiffen. The 2 girls then immediately rolled back, hugging his biceps tightly, groaning, "It's so numb." Lin Sin seriously looked at the 2 of you. Can you stop for a while, Lu Cheng? You're secretly following me again. Lu Cheng heard you say that. Of course she felt embarrassed. But she couldn't have a thick skin. She shyly reached out to hold the strap of her thin shirt, trying her best to look pitiful. Her eyebrows were furrowed, her cheeks were red, and the emotions in her eyes were about to overflow. Okay, Lin Sin, don't you hate her so much? I'll chase that annoying fly away for you. I won't bother you. Su Ruo smirked, her eyes filled with mockery towards her. I guess. Lu Cheng was furious when she was poked at her weak point. She put her hands on her hips, glanced at her, and spoke in annoyance. What? Isn't that better than a self-centered person like you? The angrier she gets, the easier it is for Ruo number. If I had a girlfriend like you, I would have broken up in a hurry. In exchange for her increasingly unpleasant voice. A hooligan girl. No wonder she had to dress up and pretend to be a student. Lin Sin, I don't like people like you. Go away. Taking out her student card from her pocket, Su Ruo shook it in her hand, her whole body radiating the aura of a winner. Pretending. I can't pretend to be like you. It's so embarrassing. I'm a university student, Yan Jiang. This time everyone's eyes widened. Lin Sin couldn't believe that the girl who looked like a gangster was actually a student college. You really shouldn't look at your face to capture your image. Su Ruo took off her shirt, gently draped it behind her. Her body proportions were so perfect that any girl who saw them would be jealous. What's wrong? I shouldn't be surprised. I just rarely go to school. Who doesn't like beautiful people? Pink heart balloons are flying everywhere. Drool is about to flow into a river. Wow, so pretty. It's the type one like. The guy who drools the most, damn it. Aren't you secretly in love with Lu Cheng? However, there are still people who have some sense. Although they are very beautiful, they don't look good. The worse the woman, the more the man loves her. Su Ruo's only current purpose is Lin Sin. She winked lovingly, her pink lips curled up slightly. But knowing that he also studied at Yanjiang University, I had the motivation to go to school again. This made Lin Sin helplessly sigh. Okay, look at it positively. Consider it a convenient money swiping tool. I just don't know what her relationship with Luo Yaxi is like. The phone notification sound rang out. Chia Yuxuan's sweet voice rang out from the other end of the line. Lin Sin, are you here yet? Lin Sin was still bewildered. Asked again, where are you coming? Today at the hospital. Museum held an exhibition. It's not like you forgot. Right. Lin Sin actually forgot about this. He was so panicked that he stiffened. He remembered. A few days ago she said that today was the first day the first exhibition of literary objects was the literary objects that were brought from Japan. I stammered an excuse. Of course I didn't forget. I've already changed my clothes and am preparing to go. Chia Yuxuan immediately breathed a sigh of relief when he heard that. He seemed to trust him very much. That's great. You're a major shareholder. If you hadn't come, I wouldn't have known what to do. He shyly clasped his hands together and apologized to his friends. Guys, I'm so embarrassed. There's an urgent need to go on a trip. You guys go to the internet cafe. I'll pay for tonight. Wu Ji pouted and waved like a fly. Speaking up. Let's go, newbie. Don't beg the puppers to carry you in future matches. Lin Sin looked at the phone screen, calculating the distance to the museum. Time was limited. Now was the fastest way to get there. Or ride a bike over, that's right. Su Ruo noticed that he was stunned and excitedly suggested. Where are you going? I'll take you there on my motorbike. Immediately received a refusal. No need. I'll go by myself. She firmly pulled his arm, as if she wanted to use some force to make him change his mind. When will you teach me that acupressure trick just now? Lu Cheng put his hands on his hips, shouted in discomfort, and let him go. One person is already good enough. Two people really become a noisy market, taking turns shouting loudly, as if wanting to tear his eardrums. So loud that his head explodes. He can only be helpless. The voice stopped, teaching her acupuncture points. Okay, but we need to see if she has enlightenment or not. He firmly pointed with 5 fingers, completely breaking Ruo's will. She went to make up all her subjects. Still lacking in education, passed level 1 in Mandarin, took the level 4 foreign language certificate exam, and then came to me, telling her to study rather than telling her to die. Su Ruo lived with a mindless attitude and enjoyed peace. Right at that moment, I can only cry loudly. Lin Sin immediately rode his bicycle and ran away. Out came Su Ruo with his arms wide open to chase, shouting loudly as he ran. Hey, can you lower your requirements? Kids. The guy in the back looked at this scene with tears in his eyes. His voice was filled with jealousy. I also want to be chased by a beauty. That figure is truly amazing. Lu Cheng is so old. It's the first time he's been looked down upon by others. Even though it's bitter, he can't do anything. He can only stand from afar, clenching his fists angrily. The museum today welcomed a large number of visitors. all lining up in long lines in front of the museum. Stepping inside is a giant room covered with golden stone. 2 rows of banners extending to the end of the hallway. The atmosphere inside is both luxurious and cheerful. Chia Yuxuan was now surrounded by a crowd of people. Compliments kept ringing out. More and more people approached the crowd on this side. Director Chia is truly promising at such a young age. Under the management of Director Chia, the Yanjiang Museum is really prospering. She stood shyly in the middle of a noisy crowd. I really envy Lao Chia for having such an outstanding daughter. One of the group stepped forward, held out a business card in his hand, and spoke romantically. My name is Yang. I wonder if Director Chia would have the honor to have a meal with me. Thank you, I've already eaten, and I've been losing weight recently. He smiled a sweet smile that pierced the girl's heart. It's okay, dinner is fine. I've booked a table at Michelin 3 stars. A woman with a temperament like Director Handsome, here I am. At the same time, Lin Xin appeared holding a small bag. Oh, here. He smiled and raised the black bag in his hand. Calling softly, Chia Yuxuan, she immediately responded happily. Tai, the complete opposite of him just now. Lin Xin, what are you holding? The fragrant aroma emanating from inside the small bag. This is the grilled sausage at the university gate. Do you want to eat it? Guy the man was a little angry at being treated like an invisible person. And then curled his lips sarcastically, dying of laughter, inviting Chia Yuxuan, whose human value was up to thousands, to eat grilled sausages for a few coins. Is this kid crazy? Just as he was still pleased, the girl's sweet sound rang out like a strong slap to his previous thought. Wow, I've never eaten this before. I've always wanted to taste it. Her eyes, sparkling, with each chewing and swallowing sound. His face became darker, smelling like eating shit. Oh, very delicious. Lin Xin looked very happy. After all, he liked it here much more than standing between those 2 troublesome people. Right, I often come to this house to eat. The stinky tofu restaurant next door is also very delicious. Chia Yuxuan's cheeks turned red. She kept nodding her head. Next time you can take me to taste it. Try it. She happily held Lin Xin's hand and left first. This side is heaven, that side is hell. No matter how shiny that Yang was before, now she can only regretfully stand behind and admire. Watching her shadow, the 2's figures gradually moved away. They were both old and oily. Thinking the CEO was a switchboard. You've seen everything here. Let's go to the West Hall's antique appraisal event and check it out. Lin Xin put it in his pocket, suddenly reluctantly pampering, striding along. What is the antique appraisal meeting for? The crowd in front lined up in a series of long rows, eagerly jostling with people coming to watch and appraise. On the opposite side was a group of people dressed politely, seriously examining the items on hand. This is a regular activity my father has organized in the past. Every month he will organize 2 appraisals of antiques for everyone, which is very welcome in the world of antique collectors. Neck. The man was dressed colorfully, holding a giant donut, smiling brightly at the camera in front of him, looking like a professional streamer. His energy was different from everyone else. The donuts were truly delicious. Everyone look where I've been. The Treasure Appraisal Association of Yanjiang Museum. The phone screen is displayed in the screen. The comments keep jumping. The number of viewers is still pouring in significant numbers. I'm really jealous. Although I have never seen a museum in the United States, but definitely not just a fraction bigger than this. Looks like the man is a social media influencer. Named Hao Heng. Someone complimented his style. Great. Give me the camera, Lee. He stepped forward and introduced. Early this morning I brought my treasure here for appraisal. There were famous experts at the scene. After the price was determined, they sold it at a good price. So there was money to be made. Going to the United States and living good days. My good friend Buddy Sam in the United States even arranged a job for me in the United States. The announcement sounds continued to sound. It seemed like Hao Heng was next. The next person, number 174. 3 people passed each other. He excitedly ran towards the appraisal counter. It was my turn. It was this. On the other hand, is Lin Xin and Chia Yuxuan. 2 people sweetly holding hands. Very lively, isn't it? Indeed. The man standing in the corner slowly walked out. Looking at the aura, he was definitely not an ordinary character. They are all respectful and gentle. Thank you, Teacher Kong, for your compliment. My father will be here soon. He smiled amiably, raised his hand in a cheering gesture. That's right. Having such an excellent daughter. He can truly be blessed. Lao Chia really knows how to raise children. She replied shyly, Teacher Kong, stop praising me. I need to thank you for being able to come to the treasure appraisal organization. After talking for a while, he suddenly hugged his stomach and stepped back, waving goodbye to the two people. Big, I'm old now. My stomach isn't good anymore. I'm going to the bathroom first. Goodbye first. Right now. The front suddenly became noisy. It seemed like someone was loudly upset in the examination area. I decided to call the number. Why is there no one? I've been waiting for half a day. I'm liking the streaming. It turns out the troublemaker is Hao Heng from before. He's holding the camera in one hand, the other hand on his hip, speaking up, uncomfortably. So many people are waiting. Is your museum appraiser like that? Chia Yuxuan immediately stood up to mediate. She walked behind the desk, showed off her beautiful woman's communication skills. Her sweet voice gently scratched the other person's heart. I'm sorry, Teacher Kong has to go out for a few minutes. If you can't wait, I will evaluate it for you. He didn't seem very satisfied. Although his voice had softened a bit, it was still full of disbelief. She appraised her, looking at her appearance. It didn't look like she was an appraiser. It wasn't the first time someone doubted her. After all, she only looked like a young girl. So how much experience could she have? But Chia Yuxuan still spoke softly, her tone full of confidence. He could give me a look. Anyway, there's no harm in believing a little. He took out a small luxurious box from his pocket. Inside was a pipe that seemed quite old, and looked stylish. It belonged to someone who issued it. Often used. Okay, this is the pipe that the president founded in the United States used. Take a look. He turned the camera slightly, showing an image of a little girl seriously considering something. The whole face was wrinkled. Completely the look of someone who had done so much to get used to it. The comment box kept jumping with messages. Everyone was stunned by the unbelievable beauty of Chia Yuxuan. The girl is so beautiful. I also want to arrive at the scene. So young and already an appraiser. Hao Heng come a little closer. A moment of silence passed. She finally returned the pipe to him. Shook her head. I regret this, it's a technological product. Not a literary object. How can Hao Heng accept this? He slammed the table and shouted loudly. What nonsense are you talking about? This is what a friend in the United States gave me. How could it be fake? Do you know he has a lot of money and is very sincere? He looked closely at the small writing on the pipe. Made in Huaguo, to be exact, a gadget company in our country. But he was a foreigner, completely unaware of what it meant. But still I refuse to find out. I just stubbornly believe that I am right. Have you seen these words? Do you know what they mean? Hao Heng smirked smugly, exactly the look of those guys who are both brash and stubborn. Although I don't understand, it probably means something like a declaration of freedom. In the United States, freedom is the problem, what not? The phone screen clearly recorded the scene at this time. Thousands of people continuously commented. A self-righteous idiot. Only Chia Yuxuan patiently sat and explained to him. This foreign language means yes, the origin of perfume. He still refused to believe it. Pounded the table and shouted loudly. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. If you don't believe it, you can take a photo of this line and scan it into the translation application. He became more and more stubborn, and finally pulled out a jade green ceramic vase from his pocket. The same shape and color. At first glance, I guess it was a selected product. But whether it's real or not, I don't know. What do you say? Is that so? Just by looking at it, I can tell it's a foreign product. Come on, today I have to compare highs and lows with you. Hao Heng, I'm sure I won this game. Where did this porcelain vase come from? It has many years of history. Please tell me. If you're right, then I won't cause you any more trouble. Accurate judgment is quite difficult for people with many years of experience. Let alone young people, old like the girl in front of her. Sure enough, after a few seconds Chia Yuxuan observed the ceramic vase. She lowered her voice. My knowledge is limited. I can only see roughly. This porcelain vase is really very perfect. His tone is filled with triumph. Like a male peacock who always thinks he is right but constantly spreads his tail to brag. Just admitting that his knowledge is limited. The pipe that his friend in the United States giving it to me cannot be. At this moment, she slightly squinted her eyes. White light flashed from her pupils. It seemed like the result was certain. But because it was too perfect, glancing down at the beautiful ceramic vase in my hand. The smoothness to the touch. The strange scent that wasn't something an antique should have. The color and part of this feeling were new. So I guess. My fingertips felt it, recognizing the remaining tactile sensation. This is probably a fake. This time he completely exploded, angrily leaving the examination table. Maybe what? She didn't understand at all. As for the expert, could he have bought it or slept it? Maybe his anger had been swallowed. Not only his face and brain, but also the person who can't say such a stupid sentence. After all, Chia Yuxuan is the first time meeting someone so easily excited. Speak up seriously. Please pay attention your words. Otherwise I will call security to invite you out. The more the bastard talks, the more aggressive he gets. Spitting everywhere and he doesn't pay attention. Call security. It cost me 500 yuan to come here for an assessment. Can you believe I'm calling the police right now? That teacher Kong finally appeared. He called out to the noisy crowd, panicked because something had happened just a little while away from his position. What's wrong? What's wrong? Director Chia, she replied innocently. This person was carrying a porcelain vase, completely ignoring the other person's anger that had reached its peak. Director, my medicine is fake. The more I talk, the crazier I get. Now the melody has become several times more aggressive. Everyone comes to see what is called unprofessionalism, what is called the ability of Yanjiang Museum. So small and broken. I knew right away that I couldn't identify anything. I'm a celebrity with 30,000 fans. Do you know who you offended? Teacher Kong whispered softly into her ear. Each sentence and each word seemed to destroy the initial trust that Chia Yuxuan had in this respected teacher. As an appraiser, you are still much worse than your father. An appraiser not only knows how to appraise objects but also knows how to appraise people. The type of item that has no obvious defects and cannot find evidence. If it's fake, just give him a certificate and let it go. His eyes darkened and he gave a smile that made her go cold. He looked like some pervert who liked to spy on others. If he did illegal business, one day he would be friends with bars. But if he didn't play recklessly, then when will you get better? Don't show such an expression. That year, my uncle and your father cooperated to make money. And being able to build a stall and reputation for appraising this treasure also depended on skill. And flexible. That guy's eyes are wide open. And you look like you're about to jump out. The more you laugh, the more confused you become. How can I say that my goods are real? Quickly apologize to him. It felt like the surrounding crowd gradually became quiet. All the criticism was now focused on Chia Yuxuan. The feeling of oppression even though she had done nothing wrong made her breathless. It turned out that the place she had always wanted was a place. Is my face that dirty? A bunch of vain and greedy people. A bunch of field mice who only know how to whisper blame. A porcelain vase worth hundreds of thousands and yet you say it's a fake. Do you know how to appraise things? It's not like that. Now belongs to my family. Right at this moment, someone's voice rang out, like an angel coming to show her the way. What was so bustling about? You step forward. Protect Chia Yuxuan behind you. Let me see who is bullying my director Chia. Unexpectedly, someone would stand up for him. His cheeks were red. Deep in his eyes was a strong love that was difficult to conceal. His light pink lips painted a faint smile. Calling softly, Lin Xin. Hao Heng's expression became even more and more arrogant. Completely indifferent. Those people all deserved to be at his feet. Leaning on his hips and scolding loudly. Who are you again? Lin Xin smiled with unknown meaning. As if looking at a monkey raised in a zoo. Confidently introduced. Me, I'm an expert among experts. Teacher Kong also excitedly introduced. Right. Don't see that Mr. Lin is still young. His appraisal ability is guaranteed. Mr. Lin's things are even better than mine. His eyes were full of calculation. His image was getting lower and lower in society. Lin Xin's eyes were scrutinizing him from top to bottom, as if he wished he could strip him completely. Let's see if there are any more secrets. I just went to the bathroom and called Lao Si the bottom. You must make friends. Hao Heng jokingly put his hands in his pockets, bent down at a slight bend, facing Lin Xin who was sitting in a chair. Really? Then take a look at this porcelain vase of I'm going. Lin Xin looked excited, wishing she could jump up and punch that hateful face. When does this porcelain vase come from? The other person immediately replied. Porcelain vase from the Song dynasty. You seems to have seen something. Ironic. Song Dynasty. I saw this last week. Not sure if it was because he was lazy or deliberately not listening. He suddenly slapped his hand. Laughed excitedly. Is it from the Shang or Zhou dynasty? That would make it even more valuable, wouldn't it? He seriously examined the antique vase in front of him. Touched it again and again but didn't see anything special. So he spoke up. Was this vase bought or picked up? He arrogantly puffing out his chest. Completely the look of a peacock who likes to show off. Talking without thinking. This is something my grandfather passed down to me. Our family heirloom. Suddenly, he shouted, raised his voice. His grandfather immediately scared him back. The comment section kept jumping. Everyone voted that this moment was the funniest. He angrily scolded loudly. Fuck you. Are you kidding me? Lin Xin stood up. His appearance was not joking at all. He was also easily seduced, otherwise he might be tricked into buying fake things later. So, tell me, how much money did you lose? The conversation became more and more tense. Dead pigs aren't afraid of boiling water. Right. Your mouth is really hard. Okay, I'll let you serve. Pig has entered trap. He stupidly pulled out the proof of purchase and put it on the table. Like crazy but kept laughing. Open your dog eyes to see clearly. This porcelain was actually purchased from Master Fanguo Bao. There's also that person's certificate. Do you know its real value? Smirking, Lin Xin signaled the security guard to come in, glancing at the paper on the table and the bastard being controlled. Oh, wasn't it passed down by my grandfather? He had the certificate but he still came here for appraisal. He came here to find a feeling of consensus. Only now did he realize he was being set up. Stupid enough to accept it. Bitch, why do you want to eat? Let me go. Teacher Kong has been silent all this time. Now he dares to come over and whisper to you. His attitude has also softened a bit. Mr. Lin, from the Fanguo Bao gang, this means taking their artifacts everywhere for appraisal. The more certificates they have, the higher the price they can be sold for. Besides, Fanguo Bao is a very famous collector in Yanjiang. Heard today, also came here to visit the artifacts. We should still be a little more careful when talking. He spoke seriously, completely lacking his usual gentle appearance. No matter who he is. Holding a fake artifact, come here to appraise. Want to take advantage of our appraisal association to increase the price. There is no way. Hao Heng shouted loudly, like a hero doing a righteous thing. Completely unable to see his own mistakes. His mouth just kept going. Loudly crowing. Okay, everyone has seen it, right? This is the consciousness of Yanjiang's appraisal association, which has lowered the image of the whole country in the collector world. A patriot like me is indeed very heartbroken. The righteousness in his heart is about to explode. But it seems that people on the internet don't pay much attention. The comments section is constantly talking about other topics. I also like to eat donuts. Wants to eat donuts, it's so American. I don't know if I can eat donuts when I go to America. But be careful if you get fat. This time I'll also evaluate this guy. Lin Xin seemed to be quite helpless with the stubbornness of the idiot in front of him. He waved his hand and shook his head with a disapproving expression. Okay, I'm too lazy to say more to you guys. If you want to refund the appraisal fee, then I will refund it to you. Take your fake literary certificate and go away. Next time find a trustworthy appraiser. Don't run around arguing all the time and get tricked into paying money. Nowadays, someone suddenly spoke up from the back of the crowd. Wait, the old man with white hair and beard, holding a folding fan, his whole body radiating an extraordinary aura, but somewhere mixed with a vague fakeness. I am Fanguo Bao. I have been playing antiques for more than 60 years, and have always appreciated the value and respected history. If this young man was sure that the artifacts I had not appraised were fake, then wouldn't it be true? Is it worth slapping my face? If other professional appraisers say this, I'm afraid I will pay attention and think about whether I'm really old and dizzy looking at the wrong treasure. But the young man, he spoke vaguely, but everyone understood his intention at this time. His eyes deep in the black glasses were a dull yellow color. Without light, the wrinkles on his face also gathered together. Smile, although it looks happy, but in reality no one knows what's in the heart. It's just a lover, not even an appraiser's certificate. Right, the three words are a lover. He spoke louder, trying to use logic to crush Lin Xin at this time. Lin Xin was silent. His eyes were like a deep lake constantly swirling into the heart of the other person. The crowd immediately became noisy. Especially the people who bought literary objects from Fanguo Bao. They were making noise and causing trouble like market vendors. That's right. They didn't even have a certificate. An outsider pretending to be an expert. Mr. Fanguo appraised it. State inspection. I also bought literary objects from Mr. Fanguo's place. They are definitely genuine. Now they are worth the money. It seems like the current negativity is gradually surrounding the crowd. Teacher Kong is behind the inspection desk decided. Timidly spoke up. Mr. Lin, I told you, this Fanguo Bao cannot be offended. He once again acted polite. Spoke up. Everyone don't be hasty. We are all moral people. This young man is interested in appraising literary objects. I also understand very well. Not having much knowledge is inevitable and it is inevitable. Lin Xin stood in front of Chia Yuxuan. His expression became darker with each passing moment. That old man's words. So, Director Lin Xin looked worriedly at the guy in front of him. Lin Xin. He laughed and asked again. I heard right just now. Many people here have bought Mr. Fanguo's artifacts. Fan Hoa porcelain vase. This girl's is the same. Don't you mind letting me take a look? The old lady put her hands on her hips and confidently said. You can go ahead and take a look. But be careful if you break it. You won't be able to make up for it. Lin Xin seriously examined the porcelain vase carefully. Meticulous. The more he looked, the more proud the old man became. His eyes deep in the glass became darker and darker. Just depending on him. What could he see? You laughed. Fake. This immediately caused a stir. You're fake. Do you have proof? This is something I had to use all the money in the house to buy. Now the price has doubled. There are many people who want to buy it. Today I will sell it at a high price. The more he listens, the more excited and sarcastic he becomes. Yes, as long as it is tough. Young people are filial, won't give up. He stood in the opposite direction of the crowd. Spoke up. And whose artifacts were bought from Fanguo Bao, so bring them all up here for me to see. Led by his brother Hao Heng laughing. Still stiff mouth right. Is there any sense in delaying the time? But it seems like the people behind are very excited. Constantly jostling each other to bring up literary objects. Look at my Ming Dynasty vase. There is also a box of my era too. She stood behind worriedly, although these documents looked very new. But there was really no evidence of forgery. Could it be that including that porcelain vase I really had? Did you see wrong? The old man smirked. Is that okay? Everyone has a lot of time to wait for you. If you saw wrong, just admit it and you won't lose face. Or do you see that all of these things are the same? Is a fake. He held a rather old ceramic bowl in his hand and said seriously. Well, it's all fake, but this is a master of manufacturing techniques that can be said to have no flaws at all. As heard this, what's so funny? The crowd suddenly became noisy. Everyone was laughing at Lin Xin. He said it like he didn't say it. He met someone with a hard mouth but never met a person with such a hard mouth. His brain was stuck in the door. Okay, are you back yet? I'm still live streaming. Definitely the funniest clown of the year. Chia Yuxuan bowed her head and apologized to everyone and admitted all her mistakes. Yet Fanguo Bao still refused to let her go. Director, now it's not just a simple apology anymore. Chia Yuxuan was startled and asked again. So what do you want? He replied. This friend keeps insisting that my artifacts are fake. Then it must be taken out. Got proof? Hao Heng and a few others immediately followed suit. Yes. If we can't prove it, then we have to buy my porcelain vase at double the price. That's right. If we buy our things at double the price, then we won't calculate anymore. Fanguo Bao gave a cunning smile. I don't have any requests. But being treated like that at the Yanjiang Museum, it really makes people feel cold. Before that too, I've already told director you think you're smart. Just kneel down and sincerely apologize. Kowtow your head 3 times and you'll be fine. Chia Yuxuan hesitated. That's too much. Before he finished speaking, Lin Xin quickly responded. Okay, but if I can get the evidence, what price can Mr. Fanguo pay? Actually, you have already calculated it all. Now just waiting for them to take the bait. Mr. Fan replied harshly again. Have you made a mistake? Now you have to prove your words. Based on what conditions you told me. Lin Xin kindly explained to him. He really agreed. That I will rush to prove something. Self-proving is a trap. The more you want to prove yourself, the easier it is to be brainwashed. If you want to bet with me, then you have to take something out. If otherwise, on what basis should I bet with you? Oh, that's right. It seems I haven't said it yet. I actually have evidence to prove that you guys are all fakes. Let's take a look. How Heng lost your piece calmly raised his voice to challenge. Come, bet. Mr. Fan also decided to fight. He has lived to be over 80 years old this year and has never met such an arrogant person. He decided to bet half of the collectible. Yours. The people behind heard that and couldn't help but be surprised. Half of Master Fan's collectibles. So isn't that comparable to a museum? Fang Guo Bao smiled confidently. The price of the collectibles, my other budget is at least 1 billion. More than enough to buy this Yanjiang museum. Lin Xin accepted this deal. Although there was a way to determine carbon-14 dating, that method was too slow. He decided to use a method that was both fast and less labor-intensive. Lin Xin called someone to bring him a hammer. The people below had the opportunity to chat again, using hammers to check the inside and cross-section of the artifacts. Thinking there was a good way. But everyone had probably heard rumors about counterfeiters. Antiques. Right, that's the rumor about the counterfeit master's mark. Lin Xin now had a hammer in his hand. He loudly declared, now I will smash those antiques that I said were genuine. If this is a mistake, I will compensate you double. Chia Yuxuan was worried, but he gave him a reassuring wink. She blushed and exclaimed, Lin Xin is truly magical. No matter what kind of adversity he is in, he can still face it calmly, as if there is nothing in this world that can be difficult. If he did, her favorability with him immediately increased by 8%. The favorability value is now 82%. Lin, please hold the hammer and inform everyone. I'm ready. Everyone at this moment. I still don't dare to believe that he would actually have the guts to beat them. Mr. Fan is also secretly underestimating him at this time. This kid has some bravery but not much. He wants to use his cross-section to judge the truth and falsehood. What evidence do you have? If there really are some poor quality fakes in these documents, then he really might find unfortunate loopholes. However, these items are all mine. Do it yourself. How can you find a loophole? The most famous collector Yan Jiang is my external identity. In fact, in the world of creating fake literary objects of perfume, I am the existence at the most famous. My counterfeiting technique is definitely without any loopholes. Even a national level expert cannot find a loophole. An amateur hobbyist like you still wants to challenge. I was literally daydreaming. But if we talk about loopholes, there really is still one. That is, I intentionally left a mark. Every top counterfeiter, whose arrogance comes from the very bones, will leave a mark of their own. As for myself in the works I create, I am no exception. But if you think breaking things can be discovered so easily, then you have underestimated me. My mark is extremely small. Just only I can know its location. Using a hammer to break it like this, the chance of finding it is only 5%. Moreover, I will smash all of your small abilities. While thinking, he broke the first vase. How Heng burst out laughing excitedly. The porcelain vase I bought for 3,000 Vietnamese dongs. Fragments of the vase scattered everywhere. They just picked up the pieces up, confident that I won't have to worry about my living expenses this month. Mr. Fan also picked up a piece of debris and said, everyone look at the color of this cross-section. The ash color is yellowish. And with this thickness, this is the real thing. How Heng was excited. This kid lost again. The market price of this item must be several 100,000. While the two were busy talking, Mr. Fan quickly hid a broken piece of the vase in his pocket. It didn't stop there. Lin Xin continuously broke the documents on the table. Other people saw that not only were they not sad but were even excited to count the amount of compensation they received. Like this it won't take long, Rich. Mr. Fan was trying not to laugh at this moment. I had picked up all the imprints. Only the last one was missing. While he was busy examining the fragment of the artifact, he approached the table and asked, how, have you found any evidence yet? Almost. Lin Xin smiled as if nothing had happened. He suddenly shot a fragment at him. Taking advantage of if you didn't pay attention. You put the last piece of the seal in your pocket. Fang Guo Bao raised his face confidently. It's over. The only loophole now. All the fragments are in my hands. Win, it's really easy. Not difficult at all. When he was sure of victory in his hands, he confidently asked him, friend, have you seen enough? Where is the evidence? Lin Xin scratched his head and laughed. These items are very well made. Even if they are cross-sections, there are no obvious flaws. It seems like you have met a master. Mr. Fan sneered. So, You mean there is no evidence? Right. Pay money. Immediately pay money. The crowd behind excitedly shouting in unison the slogan of paying money. Lin Sin still calmly walked in front of him. Master Fan, are these fake documents really worth that much money? As soon as the words fell, pieces of evidence immediately followed. You released it. Everyone didn't expect it, but their eyes were wide open. Lin Sin calmly released the evidence. The whole hall fell into silence. Everyone then came together to look at the evidence. They wondered, what is this? Why does this fragment of Song Dynasty porcelain have a sealed script character? It's also found on fragments of blue and white porcelain from the Qing dynasty. It's also on Tang Sankai. Mr. Fan rummaged around in confusion, stammering at a loss for words. Since when? Why? How is it possible? Lin Sin sneered, breaking into a cold sweat. Right, don't look anymore. I took it from your pocket just now. A bit of your reaction speed in your eyes. I'm no different from a sloth. These artifacts look very real, but what they all have in common is that they have been preserved so well. There are some artifacts that wouldn't even be in the National Museum. So good. I think this is not something that the counterfeiter doesn't know. But because he is too arrogant, thinking that what he created cannot be assessed by anyone, he wants to enjoy the feeling. This nobleman, combined with that confident attitude of yours, I guess that these literary artifacts were probably all created by you. Right. Fanguo Bao's face turned pale. He quickly explained, You're talking nonsense. It's not me, and even if I created it, how would you know about the imprint? Lin Sin explained, I don't know, I simply wanted to smash it to see what happened. Then observe his reaction. Then, as expected, he immediately became panicked and started picking up the pieces. It was also the first time I saw someone collecting evidence against himself. Mr. Fan was so angry after hearing that. You mean, if I don't pick up the pieces, you will lose? Those documents are worth several $100 million. Just because you proved your guess. Did you smash them all? No one should teach rich people how to spend money. Isn't it just a few $100 million? Just hit them. Let him out. Who told the old director to bully your director is fake? When Chia Yuxuan heard this, she became even more flustered. She didn't expect Lin Sin to trust her so unconditionally. At this time, Fanguo Bao began to receive retribution. The people who had been deceived by him began to slander him and demand money. Luckily, Lin Sin still had humanity and advised them not to beat him to death. He still owed him a lot of things. That Chia Yuxuan didn't understand why he suddenly hugged you. Lin Sin, you really scared me to death just now. Don't scare me like that again in the future, okay? Come to this point. Oh, her favorability increased by 5% again. System notification. Chia Yuxuan's favorability reached 90%. Completed phase 1 of the game. The 6 billion 8 game money for Chia Yuxuan was refunded 10 parts 100. 680 million. Transferred to your personal account. All attribute bonus +1. Current all attribute level is level 7. The system gives the question 3 skills and asks to choose one. Skill C level. Mastery of 3 subjects. SS level skills. Feng Shui fortune telling. B level skills. Horse riding expertise. Just hearing the number 680 million. His heart was as happy as opening a chessboard. With this amount of money, use it if you save a little. You may not need to work in your whole life. This is your life's goal. Lin Sin is very happy inside, but on the outside he still has to act calm and wipe away Chia Yuxuan's tears. No, am I okay? There's still important things to do. The scene changes to a villa. The two people are now standing in front of a fortune in antiques. Lin Sin does not hesitate to praise. As expected of Yan Jiang's top collector, there are many good things in here. Based on according to the agreement, Lin Sin will take half of it. Fanguo Bao knelt down and begged. Mr. Lin, these are all items I have collected for more than half my life. You can hold them up high and hit them softly. Lin Sin smiled darkly. When he saw that, he quickly knelt down and corrected what he said earlier, asking Mr. Lin to choose whatever dish he wanted. Oh my god, Chia Yuxuan's surprised voice rang out. This literary object is here. She happily invite Lin Sin to have tea with you later. A moment later, the sun had gone down the mountain. Lin Sin sat alone surfing the news. Hao Heng made the front page with the headline, Migrants arrested by police at the US border, now locked up in US jails. Lin Sin suddenly smiled. I heard that hype culture is very popular now. I wish you good food and good drink. Lin Xin has been waiting for a long time. But Chia Yuxuan still hasn't brought the tea. As soon as I mentioned it, it immediately appeared, the sound of heels hitting the ground. Chia Yuxuan was wearing a long dress with bold slits on both sides and brought tea to Lin Xin. Lin Xin looked at her appearance now and just wanted to have her nose bleed. She put the other artifact on the table and asked him if he knew the origin of this incense burner. What about the incense burner? He only paid attention to her slim waist. Chia Yuxuan shyly turned away. This is the set I bought when I was in high school. Now it's a bit small. It's not easy to wear it. Lin Xin turned back to the incense burner. This is a modern incense burner in the past. Fangguo Bao's collection. Right, because it's not far away. Based on the grade of the artifact. It's probably considered a grade 3 artifact. It has a very special background. 180 years ago, during an invasion by foreign forces, Captain Zhu Feng saved the daughter of a wealthy merchant named Qian Yu. The two fell in love at first sight. Unfortunately, the wealthy merchant looked down on Zhu Feng's commoner background, insisting that he must become a general before allowing his daughter to marry him. Zhu Feng left an incense burner as a token of their love for Qian Yu before heading into battle. Unexpectedly, Zhu Feng spent 10 years and truly became a general, and later he finally married Qian Yu. This incense burner is also a testament to their love, passed down from generation to generation, until 100 years later it was lost. Is that this incense burner can be found. The 6 characters, long love, never forget each other, were engraved by Zhu Feng with a knife. A very touching story, like the rich aroma of tea. Holding the beauty in his arms, Lin Xin exclaimed, "You are very beautiful tonight." The beauty suddenly jumped up to give him a kiss. Lin Xin also quickly hugged her waist and responded. The scene at this moment looked hot. What's wrong with her eyes? Calm and healing. For some reason, Chia Yuxuan's dress suddenly ripped open. She embarrassedly tried to grab her dress and run away. But he quickly took off his jacket for her and picked her up. Chia Yuxuan, embarrassed, she shyly allowed him to carry her to the dressing room. 2 days later, Lin Xin was now at the Dragon Court No. 1 villa with Luo Yaxi. Luo Yaxi told him to leave his things for the servant to carry and then went in with him. In the villa, looking at such a young Lin Xin was successful, and there was also a beautiful woman by his side. This employee couldn't help but admire. At this moment, suddenly a beautiful woman wearing a maid outfit appeared in front of him. She introduced herself as the new maid that Mr. Lin invited to come. Just like that, Lu Cheng successfully entered the villa without any difficulty. On the other hand, Luo Yaxi was happily chatting with Lin Xin. Lin Xin, look, these are the flowers that I told the gardener to plant. There are cloves that you like and hydrangeas that I like. There are also many different types of flowers over there. Lin Xin also had to admire the frame. This beautiful scene. If there were a few more puppies it would be even better. In front of them at this moment was a group of servants. They bowed their heads in unison to greet both of them. Thinking of the prospect, someone would cook and clean the food. Cleaning and washing clothes are all done by servants. No need to go to work. Just playing video games all day makes his heart feel excited again. Lin Xin turned around to express his wish to give Luo Yaxi another supercar. Luo Yaxi of course refused, because he had already given her too much. In the distance, Lu Cheng saw the two of them so happy and became jealous. By the way, I really wanted to tear that face of hers. Probably my heart was so happy that I almost died. When it was time to have dinner, it was me who laughed. In the evening, Luo Yaxi personally went into the kitchen to cook. The servants saw this and did not hesitate to praise. Mr. Lin is truly blessed, having such a thoughtful girlfriend, cooking for him herself. Luo Yaxi happily explained, because she liked the look of Lin Xin eating the food she made. The dish was done, and was about to bring it out when Lu Cheng appeared from nowhere. Covered with a mask, her voice trembling, asking me to bring the food out for her. She explained that it was because she had the flu that she had to wear a mask. Luo Yaxi asked again, her voice sour as if so. How old is she? Lu Cheng replied with sparkling eyes. She just turned 18, she said while shaking her skirt as if she was very cute. Luo Yaxi got goosebumps, then waved her hand to warn her let me carry the food to the second floor. While carrying the food upstairs, while no one was paying attention, Lu Cheng secretly pulled out the medicine bag from his chest. Then pour it into the food tray. That's it, Lu Cheng thought. After eating these dishes, you will go to sleep soon. Then I will be in your bed. In front of you. Man, they are all animals with the lower half of their bodies. As long as I let Lin Sin enjoy unlimited pleasure, he will definitely accept me after he wakes up. After bringing in the food, there was suddenly a voice downstairs. Have you seen that maid? Why haven't you confirmed that you let someone into your house arbitrarily? Knowing that he had been discovered, Lu Cheng immediately ran to find a place to hide. But every room was blocked. Locked. She could only hide in the master bedroom just now. Lu Cheng was lucky enough to get under the bed just in time for the door to open. It was Lin Sin and Luo Yaxi. The two of them would enjoy dinner in bed. Lu Cheng was happy like opening a flag. Good opportunity. Quickly eat that anesthetic and go to sleep. Two people happily feeding each other. How cheesy the words sound. Lu Cheng has been lying down for a long time and still see them chatting, she wondered. Why wasn't she sleeping yet? Had the medicine lost its effect? It couldn't be. At this moment, a servant came in to announce. The security couldn't find the fake maid. It must have been escaped. But she forgot a bag. Miss Lu asked Miss Lu to check. Lu Cheng was startled. Then she remembered there was a bag that she forgot. Luo Yaxi opened the bag. Inside, a pair of rabbit ears immediately appeared. Luo Yaxi sneered. It turned out to be Lu Cheng. I didn't expect to dare to sneak into our villa. Afraid there was some evil plot. Lin Sin's tone was unpleasant. I didn't expect she had already escaped. If not, I will definitely take her to the police station. Lu Cheng just cried silently after hearing this. If I go to the police station, won't I be able to see him for many days? Put that aside. Luo Yaxi also prepared something else special for you. Lin Sin pretended to wonder. This is perfume. Smelling this scent is extremely relaxing. After saying that, she immediately got out of bed and changed into her old clothes. With Lu Cheng's rabbit outfit, Lin Sin couldn't help but blush. Luo Yaxi ecstatically approached his face and whispered, "If you want to play excitingly, then play until the end." Lu Cheng bit her lip angrily. Wish I could go out and give her a few slaps. Lin Sin seemed interested. So that's what this place is like. There is also a tail. The feeling of the hand is very interesting. Lu Cheng is excited and jealous just hearing it. Jealousy took over again. It should have belonged to her. The two of them continued to play together happily. After a while of struggling, both of them finally stopped and went to sleep. Lu Cheng below also sweating profusely. She slowly crawled out from under the bed. But before she could crawl out, something blocked her back. Shouted Luo Yaxi, raised his voice. Wanting to run. It wasn't that easy. Don't be too loud. Do you want to wake up Lin Sin and call the police? I've known you since you were 18 years old. Lu Cheng couldn't believe his ears. And Luo Yaxi was extremely gloating. Then I designed this trap for you. You really fell into the trap. Listening to me and Lin Sin having sex at the moment, how do you feel? Are you angry? Lu Cheng lost his temper and jumped up. By the way, I have to kill you. Luo Yaxi pretended to call the police. Lu Cheng was scared and could only grab his bag and run away. Go. She took the risk of jumping out through the window. Thanks to her hunchbacked grandparents. Or maybe it's because the author of this series didn't study physics. So she had no injuries other than scratches. Luo Yaxi stood by the window and said goodbye to her. Lin Sin heard the noise and suddenly woke up. Luo Yaxi softly explained, "It's nothing. The mosquitoes have finally been chased away. Let's go back to sleep." Lu Cheng quickly ran away. Filled with resentment, they lived happily, and I was like a bereaved dog. Am I really not as good as that bastard? She was crying and was about to search her bag to see if there was anything to wipe her away when she picked up Yaxi's underwear. Realizing that this was Lin Sin's item, she became perverted and sniffed. And her heart was happy again. Her favorability level increased by 0.5%. Her favorability level was now up to 99.5%. Lin Sin, who was sleeping, was also startled awake by this notification. What's going on? Why did the favorability suddenly increase? Moreover, 0.5%. Since when does the system even have decimals? Like this. Also, where are my underwear? Next week, scene changed to Yanjiang University Sports Festival. Zheng Hao standing on the podium. I'm very honored to be able to stand here. Representing the whole, the student body said. Today, we gather here to organize a solemn sports festival. This is the stage for us to show our spirit of solidarity, effort and continuous improvement, and hope to everyone can learn from each other. Progress together in this process. Let's try our best for the brilliant success of the sports festival. Now, invite everyone to enjoy the parade of each department. The history department came out. The boys were howling excitedly. Next was the literature department, with the appearance of Lu Cheng and Luo Yaxi, the two most beautiful beauties in the school. The girls from other departments were screaming and calling Lin Sin's name, hoping he would look towards me. Lin Sin smiled, smiling and greeting everyone. Next was the physical education department. The girls saw them coming out and couldn't help but scream loudly. Peng Han is confident. Today will be my day. Peng Han is a star new member of the athletics department. Physical education department. Heard that he tested in the best condition. Can run 10.2 seconds in 100 meters distance. The school considers him as a national athlete and trains him. Lin Sin wondered why Wu Ji knew so well. Wu Ji made a bored face. I will soon have to run 100 meters with him. I don't know how many meters I will be left behind. I can't even be a background. Count. Lin, please cheer for you. Why think so much? Just try to run your best. A moment later, the track and field competition was about to start. Everyone gathered at the track field. This side, the cameraman was receiving a complaining phone call from his lover. His lover said he had arrived at the school door, so he quickly threw the camera over to Lin Sin to go pick up his lover. Lin Sin didn't even understand what was going on when the loudspeaker announced the 100-meter track and field competition was about to start. The participating players please enter the track. Lin Sin sighed and opened it herself. Camera. It looks like that cameraman won't come back anymore. I'll be a good person to help him film. It's convenient to give Wu Ji an extremely handsome starting angle. Lin Sin sneaked out to call son. Wu Ji turned around to look at him. His classmate in the physical education department saw this and immediately called him over. Hey, the cameraman over there. It doesn't matter what he's doing with the camera. Do you know who the main character is? The female fans who were having their breasts autographed by him also chimed in and said, of course it was Mr. Han. If he almost couldn't film the handsome scene of Mr. Han's departure, he would be responsible. Lin Sin calmly jokingly, it seems like I haven't pressed record yet. That classmate was very angry. Peng Han held him back. Let him go. Wait until he runs a few streets ahead of him. Let's discuss the main issue first. Those 3 new female fans look quite good, pretty. We can go out tonight. Just in time, we have 3 people. The important thing is that they all have boyfriends. The feeling of being squeezed in will be very exciting. Right at this moment, the speaker makes an announcement. The players should get on their track. The competition is about to start. The starting gun rang out. All the players have started. Peng Han is of course the leader. The ladies think he's cool like that. I just want to ovulate all my eggs. Peng Han has an incredibly confident demeanor. Very good condition. Feels like he can run 10.25 seconds. Wait a little longer for the handsome face that broke his record to appear on the screen. The picture is another fan attraction. However, perhaps he did not expect that Lin Sin, dressed neatly in a shirt and trousers, holding an orange in his hand, could run and cheer for Wu Ji at the same time. Peng Han opened his eyes and looked behind. He was indeed far ahead of everyone. But what about this cameraman? Didn't he also run from the starting line with everyone? Peng Han was still very surprised and wondering why Lin Sin could run faster than him. He was wearing his shoes but also held a plane weighing more than 10 pounds in his hand. And then the competition ended. The team naturally belonged to Peng Han with a time of 10.55 seconds. But there was a big surprise on his face. As for Lin Sin, he always held the camera towards Wu Ji and teased him for filming his handsome appearance. Even though Peng Han was the winner, he was very desperate. He didn't believe in his own abilities. He couldn't believe that Lin Sin could run so fast. Followed by whispers from people around, thinking that Lin Sin could run faster than Peng Han. Lin Sin was still bewildered when someone told him to take the camera to the starting line to film for the competition. The 400-meter race is about to start. Then in the 400-meter and 1500-meter competition, the champion continued to be surprised. But the one who always ran first was Lin Sin. He also thought that being a good person is tiring. Waiting for the cameraman when he comes back. He must definitely ask him to pay for a meal. The guys with Peng Han in the physical education department didn't believe that humans could run that fast. So they went and reported to the referee that someone was using stimulants. The referee even thought it was true. Got angry and yelled at any player. I will take away that person's right to play and will be very strict and will not hold back. Peng Han's group did not hesitate to point at Lin Xin as the cameraman. Upon hearing that, the referee stood stiff-faced and wondered why the physical education department had so many mentally retarded people. He also said a rude sentence. If there's nothing, you guys should quickly go eat or go somewhere else. Stop doing these nonsense things that make Peng Han and his friends so angry that they can't help but vomit blood. Couldn't do anything and the coach didn't believe what they said. After that, the three of them went to find the three girls from before to shoot him down. But at this time, the three girls' attitudes had changed 180 degrees. I also consider Lin Xin as my ideal model. He is so handsome and talented. No one can compare. Peng Han is very confident with his beauty and ability to conquer beautiful girls. So he immediately asked the match is over. Let's go quickly, but he received a bitter ending. A straightforward refusal. Sorry, we're busy. Let's leave next time. Peng Han is still busy, bewildered. Didn't understand why they changed their attitude so quickly. But the three continued to talk excitedly about Lin Xin. The girls even felt that they were an eyesore because they stood there and lost sight of the beautiful Lin Xin. They're boys. All three of these guys collapsed and fell into despair. How could this be Lin Xin? We ask you. Scene changed to the 50-meter swimming competition of female students. Luo Yaxi and Lu Cheng tried their best to wear a swimsuit that couldn't be more seductive. The cheering guys were extremely excited, falling in love with the beauty of the two girls. Lu Cheng and Luo Yaxi walked while walking, not forgetting to tease each other. Luo Yaxi also boasted that he practiced swimming in the villa's swimming pool every day. So his skills had improved a lot, making Lu Cheng extremely angry. So he wanted to make a bet. If whoever wins can participate in foot jogging with Lin Xin's class. Luo Yaxi is not easily fooled. She proudly replied that no matter who wins, Lin Xin will join her. At the same time, Ruo also appeared wearing an equally sexy swimsuit and challenged. If anyone loses in this competition, they will not appear on the sports field again. She is very confident that he will be the winner and join Lin Xin in the next competitions. Luo Yaxi was quite surprised to see his sister appear here again. And Lu Cheng was very surprised. This untouchable, is she your older sister? And the guys in the stand seemed to explode when they saw Ruo's sexiness and charm and couldn't hold back. This beauty is so stimulating. Then all three got into position preparing to leave. Luo Yaxi is very confident because he thinks Lin Xin can't pay attention to anyone else but him. Ruo with his bravery as a son of a millionaire. He is very confident that he will be able to make Lin I love you forever. As for Lu Cheng, no one can take Lin Xin from me. The swimming competition inside was going on. Lin Xin and a group of friends passing by also heard the passionate cheers outside. There was a guy who rushed in because he wanted to watch Lu Cheng and Luo Yaxi compete. Wu Ji also suggested to him that he should go inside and take a look, because this is also an opportunity to see the school beauties wearing swimsuits. Lin Xin quickly refused because he thought that Lu Cheng and Luo Yaxi would not meet each other. Nothing is good. If it can be avoided, it would be better. The young man who was rushing in just now bumped into a female student who was carrying a bucket of water going in the opposite direction, causing that bucket of water to fall from the stairs face down on the ground. Zhou Tong and Wu Ji rushed over to ask, "Are your classmates okay?" In the middle of the schoolyard, Yuan was lying on the ground. Next to her was a spilled bucket of water. Three boys came and shook her while calling, "Classmate, classmate." Lin Xin put two fingers on the girl's pulse. The pulse was weak. Stagnant qi was a sign of heart disease. Then he helped her up and helped her with acupuncture points. Then he immediately told everyone around to quickly call an ambulance. Wu Ji nodded and took out his phone to call an ambulance. Everyone outside didn't know. Stop whispering. What happened? It seems like someone fainted. Yuan's eyebrows furrowed slightly in pain. Her mouth let out a moan. Everyone kept getting excited. Zhou Tong shouted, "Awake then." Zhou Tong looked at Wu Ji. He woke up so quickly. Did he have hypoglycemia? Then he looked at Lin Xin again. Grabbed Lin Xin. "I didn't know you still knew how to do first aid. You just wanted to catch the moon. To save the beauty or something." The whole hospital heard the sound of abacus. Wu Ji was excited. "Coach, I want to learn this." Lin Sin just coldly replied. No. Then he looked at the girl. Asking this girl's heart problem is quite serious. I just temporarily revived her. In an emergency situation, I took her to the hospital first. Everyone around heard this and was extremely panicked. At this time at Jiangpu Hospital, in front of the emergency room, Yuan was lying motionless. Now the doctor gave him a paper. Is it a family member? Please sign here. Lin Sin denies. No, Before he could finish speaking, Yuan's mother cried and ran to her mouth, constantly shouting Yuan's name. Yuan, don't scare me. Lin Sin was surprised. You are the aunt last time at the Fan Guo Bao festival. Right. Yuan's mother, bewildered. Master, why are you here? Lin Sin explained. I saw this girl fainted and brought her here. Yuan's mother bowed. Oh my god. Master, you are truly the family's benefactor. I last time asked you to expose that fraudster Fan Guo Bao so that I could get my money back. I offended you that time. Please come to my house and I will invite you to dinner to officially apologize to me. Lin Sin waved his hand. No, let's forget about that. At this moment the doctor walked over. Hey, are you the patient's mother? Come and sign. Yuan's mother looked at the paper bewilderedly. Sorry doctor, this is to sign here. Right, you're worried. This is to go to the intensive care unit. The doctor explained. Your daughter's heart disease is very special. The treatment technique and equipment, the Chinese equipment, cannot be cured now. Only the high-end European machine GJC 888 can save her. Please pay the 1.500.000 deposit first. Yuan's mother was stunned. Is it that expensive? At this moment, behind Lin Sin as he left, he scratched his head. It seemed like it was none of his business. He walked away but heard the doctor's voice from behind. What do you think about my heart synchronization treatment? This device is very advanced. He turned around and saw Yuan's mother suffering. But my whole family's assets were only 1,000.000. At this time the doctor became impatient and had no money to treat the disease. What? 1.500.000 is still just a deposit. The entire next process will be at least 3.00.00. Lin Sin heard this and spoke up. That's not right. The cardiac synchronization therapist was targeting ischemic cardiomyopathy. But this girl's situation was heart blockage due to cold condensation. The treatment direction should be used as a warm spice to dispel the cold and clear the yin and yang. The doctor looked at Lin Sin with eyes full of doubt. Who are you? Yuan's mother looked at him with eyes full of admiration. Master, also understood. Hey. At this time Lin Sin continued. Is your daughter often heartbroken? Having a heart attack? Back pain? Chest tightness? Difficulty breathing? Asthma? Unable to lie down? Yuan's mother was surprised. Yes, master. How do you know that? Then he looked at the doctor and that's right. The doctor here made a wrong diagnosis. The doctor heard you blaming him and shouted. Where did you come from? That kid. You dare to doubt me. Do you know, who am I? At this moment Lin Sin crossed his arms over his chest. An unscrupulous doctor who will stop at nothing to get rid of money. The doctor was extremely angry at this moment. He pointed his finger and shouted at him. When I became a doctor you're still in diapers. If you don't go away, I'll call security. Yuan's mother, am in a very awkward situation. Doctor, please calm down. This master must be truly qualified. Just now he said Yuan has it all. At that moment, Yuan's heart suddenly ached. She clutched her chest in pain. At this moment Yuan's mother was extremely panicked. Dr. Yuan, please save my daughter. The doctor was a bit angry just now. Didn't you just say help this kid? If this kid is so powerful then why are you looking for him and looking for me? Yuan's mother was confused at this time. What? I'm not there. What does that mean? The doctor pointed at the direction where Lin Sin stood. What does that mean? Yuan's mother was confused. The doctor who refused to save people, continued to blame. That boy is a master. Right, so then quickly invite the master to take action. At this time Lin Sin heard the entire conversation. He smiled mysteriously. It was so funny. The doctor heard it and immediately frowned and looked towards him. Huh, Lin Sin leisurely said with his hands in his pockets. That's what he's talking about. He's as kind as his mother's but I only see the dark heart from his body. Did the patient become dangerously ill when he paid the price or what? At this moment the doctor heard loud whispers behind him. He shouted angrily, "Damn, you dare to cause trouble in the hospital. Now I will." Lin Sin waved his hand. "I don't have time to talk to the important lifesaver." Then he said to the surrounding nurses. "The nurses, please ask if anyone has silver acupuncture needles." Hearing that, the doctor was extremely pleased. He laughed loudly. "Using silver needles? Don't be kidding me. Silver needles are small in traditional Chinese medicine. But if you want to treat an illness, you need high-end European treatment machines to be able to treat it." He extended his hand towards Yuan Yuan. Okay, I also want to receive the master's acupuncture teachings. Please. Then he put his arm around Lin Sin's shoulder and whispered, "I'm dying of laughter. No one will lend you silver needles and any other tools. Come on. If you kill the patient, wouldn't that make you an accomplice? Now there are so many people watching. You can't ask for help." At this moment a voice said, "Mr. Lin, where I have silver needles." The other doctor turned around in panic. What? At this moment a beautiful nurse walked up to Lin Sin wondering. She is Luo Yaxi's aunt. Then she gave the box of silver needles to brother. It turns out she is a nurse. You also know how to do acupuncture in traditional Chinese medicine. At this moment her eyes are affectionate. Although there is no basis. But my intuition says I should trust you. You have helped me before. I'm willing to shoulder any consequences and responsibilities with you. Lin Sin turned around and left. Looked back and said, "Thank you." Then you open the box. Then I will start the treatment. This side a series of nurses ran to Lin Sin in panic. Hearing that someone is competing in medical skills with Dr. Lu in that hospital. I heard it was a young boy. Taking silver needles or something. Shenra Dong put his hand on the shoulder of another nurse. Over there. Okay. The nurse pointed her finger. It seemed like the doctor and the patient were having a dispute. Someone was arguing with Director Lu. By the way, which department are you from? At this time everyone outside the door was shouting gossip. Go see the excitement. It's noisy over there again. Shenra Dong stood outside, his hands touching his pointed chin and his face full of thought. At this time Dr. Lu spoke up. Master, the doctors like us need to stay away to let you develop normally. Lin Sin coldly replied, "No need. If you want to steal then you can." At this time Dr. Lu stood outside angrily. Mother damn it. Shenra Dong stood outside and looked in. Seeing Lin Sin, he immediately thought to himself, why is it him? At this time, Lin Sin raised 2 fingers high, then used his strength to point at Yuan Yuan's acupuncture points. His speed became faster and faster. He used both hands to treat. Outside the nurses stood looking at him in surprise. Wow, I can't look at this young face. 2 other doctors also hotly discussed. The techniques look very skillful but they are very normal acupuncture points. That's not right. The acupoints are all very normal acupuncture points. But the technique is extremely special. Dr. Ma, sir, is the most senior Chinese medicine doctor at our Jianpu hospital and he is also one of the best at acupuncture. A young method that can even surprise you. Dr. Ma was startled when he heard that. With this technique of his, Lin Sin continued to demonstrate his ability, causing Dr. Ma standing outside to scream in surprise. The dragon soars and the tiger leaps acupuncture technique. The nurses outside, even though they didn't understand nothing but eyes full of admiration. At this moment Shenra Dong stood there with his arms crossed, thinking, he was so powerful. Dr. Ma was outside in shock and kept shouting, exactly, it's the dragon soars and the tiger leaps acupuncture technique, which has been lost for a long time. Now, only half of its fragment remains. While acupuncturing, there's a slight but rapid vibration in the wrist. Even if the same acupuncture point is used with different techniques, the effect will be different. He was surprised to discover. Maybe it was that he's the young master of a prominent family in traditional Chinese medicine. Dr. Lu was surprised to hear that. At this time, Lin Sin was still coldly treating the patient. His long, pink-white fingers gently put the silver needles back in the box carefully. Then he wiped the sweat from his forehead and sighed. Yuan Yuan was still lying motionless. Everyone outside wondered, had the treatment finished? At this time the nurse stepped forward to use a blood pressure monitor for her. Her heart rate had recovered. Her condition was normal. Her blood pressure has also decreased. Lin Sin walked out to Yuan Yuan's mother, adjusted her sleeves and said, next, I will give her acupuncture once a week, and she will be completely cured in about a month. I will prescribe another medicine and take it for 5 days. Yuan's mother knelt down and bowed. Master, the master's great kindness has nothing in return for that 1,000 of mine. I will give it to you. Lin Xin is cold. There is no need. It wasn't my intention to save her. Dr. Lu was extremely angry when he saw that. He gritted his teeth. This seems to be better on the outside. Who knows if it will leave any after effects? Who knows? Later used this to threaten the patient's family. Then he pointed angrily at Lin Xin. You don't have a medical certificate. I've already reported to the police. The police are coming. You wait in jail. Lin Xin is not afraid at all. The cold hand said, that's just fine. I also want to report you. Perhaps the hospital is involved in using fake foreign high-tech equipment to scam money. Dr. Lu's eyes were full of hatred. Okay, you report. He thought in his mind. Stupid untouchables. Basically don't know how hard the back of our Jianpu hospital is. At this moment, Dr. Lu took out his phone to call the police. Hello, JC. I want to call the police. You guys come here immediately. Outside everyone was whispering. What's going on? Is it possible that Dr. Lu is really the truth is? Maybe this man is just lucky. Don't talk nonsense. The equipment is a high-end product imported from the hospital. Is it fake? The director didn't check it. But the treatment fee is too much. It's expensive. In the past, some patients had to pay sky-high prices. But in the end, everyone told themselves, stop talking. Shenra Dong was full of thoughts at this time. There is more to this hospital than what you see. That's why I disguised myself as an undercover agent to investigate, but the appearance of this little brother on the contrary made the department. The scene opened up a bit. This time she tried to contact her teammate. As soon as her teammate picked up the phone, she turned around and left. Whispering as she walked, Captain, next follow my instructions. This side. Yuan's mother helped her sit up. Mr. Lin, rest assured we will be on your side to help you. Ro's mother also said. Lin Xin, don't worry about this. The police will definitely investigate. Lin Xin waved his hand. It's okay. Then I'll make a phone call first. He walked out thoughtfully. He had to tell Zheng Hao and the others about the situation here. Maybe the school was very worried. He happened to see Shenra Dong talking on the phone. He was surprised. Ah, isn't this the prostitute? He walked over excitedly. What a coincidence. At this moment Shenra Dong was startled and surprised to see him. He happily asked. She was in disguise again. Not being a waitress but being a bodyguard. She forced a smile. Her hands gently covered her face. But in her mind she thought, who is the prostitute? Why does this guy always misunderstand me? Then she politely replied, yes, it's still thanks to you. Everyone around me, hearing whispers. Working as a nurse is quite good. The official job spreading love is getting better and better. Not bad. Indeed, the prostitute can also return to justice. She was surprised to hear these things. Gossip. Why is it being seen? Lin Xin is shamelessly continuing to speak in front of many people. But she is constantly looking for a new job. She must be short of money. Right. Her family is in debt. Is it too much? If you don't want to do it, I'll pay it directly to you. Don't be shy. I'm nothing. Just enthusiastic. At this moment, Shenra Dong couldn't bear it anymore and grabbed your collar. You should shut up. Mouth for me. At that time the police had already arrived at the hospital. Someone called the police. 2 people followed us. One trip both sides wanted to report and disturb the coordination. The doctor was full of anger. Let's go. The 2 of them were walking and suddenly there was a voice calling from behind. Mr. Lin and Dr. Lu were walking in front and couldn't help but feel uneasy. This won't affect me. It's okay. We've done things before. Hey, how could these policemen know? Lin Xin turned around. The nurse walked over and said worriedly, you don't need to worry. No matter how much money you need, I will definitely help you spend it. Lin, I'm full of doubts. You sponsored me. You suddenly realized you said something wrong and panicked. Sorry, you don't need my help if you have that much money. What stupid thing did I say? Lin Xin smiled. No, why? I'm acting for justice. The police even gave me a banner. See you next time. The nurse nodded. Okay. At this time, Lin Xin turned around and walked away. She also walked home. Her hands were clasped together thoughtfully. She still wanted to invite him to dinner, but she couldn't open her mouth. Next time, she must say it. Okay. This time at the police station. Dr. Lu sat in front of the interrogation table full of anger. Why don't you take a statement for me quickly? I'm reporting the case. At this time Lin Sin and the policeman were at the police station. On the outside, Lin Sin was full of thoughts. Why only bring him in? What about me? This treatment is completely different. On the inside Dr. Lu was full of impatience. Otherwise I would like to find a lawyer. This time the police turned around and said to him, please answer our captain's phone. She wants to talk to you. Then held the phone towards him. Lin Sin took the phone. Hello Captain, would you like to ask? What's wrong? A voice rang out on the other side. Mr. Lin, over here Shen Adong whispered. We need your help. It turned out that the captain was none other than Shen Adong. Lin Sin was full of confusion. Help. In his head he couldn't help but think the captain was. The voice seemed a bit familiar. On the other end of the line continued. You reported Jiangpu Hospital. There is indeed a problem. We will investigate behind this hospital colluding with quite complex forces and companies, and one of the Fexiang Company or another name Flying Company showed that he held 40% of the shares. Lin Sin was shocked when he heard that.